Lakers at 10. For the Orlando Magic, they'll begin their season tomorrow night, welcoming the Miami Heat into the Kia Center with a 7 o'clock start time. It's 81 degrees at 2 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
No Aaron Beasley today. He has too much to do. I think that's because he's drawing up plays for his team.
Yes,
now, Duval Charter has won two
Back-to-backs.
in a row.
Two in a row.
He's the new play caller, so I guess he's a little busy.
He is a little busy. We're going to miss him today, but he'll be back next week, of course, breaking it down, getting ready for our Raiders game.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
They better beat the Raiders. That's all. I mean, they got to beat the Raiders. If they go out to Vegas and lay an egg out there, there's going to be big trouble in Little China, that's for sure.
I mean, I told y'all last year when we were there for the Jags-Raiders game, I guaranteed on VSiN Radio that the Jaguars would beat the Raiders, and they did not. It was fun seeing Brock Bowers in person, at least. We got that treat.
Yeah.
But, this feels like obviously a must-win game for this team. It also feels like this could change the entire trajectory of the season.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to believe that the loss to the Seahawks and then the loss to the Rams, especially that latter one, is going to change the trajectory of the season, because if that's the case, then I don't know that they're going to win another freaking football game. But the game in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, that really could determine the trajectory of the season, hopefully in a positive way.
Yeah, for sure. And look what KC just did to him. And you beat KC earlier in the year, so you got to go out there and beat them. I mean, what is that? A plus B equals C?
That's
I don't know
right.
if that always matters or comes to light there, but
You got to shut them out. Don't even let them score.
Just beat them. I don't care. Listen, at the end of the day, just beat them. Every football team in the NFL has talent on their team, and they got enough talent to where they can beat you if you're not prepared and not ready and not on your A game. They don't have to be like a winning record to beat you. We've seen that throughout the years, so you just never know. You got to come ready to play every week.
Yeah, I think, but Rick Ballou had just tweeted, by the way, and the Jags are 1.5 point underdogs at Raiders. The total right now is 45.5. So that's what the bettors are thinking right now of the Jaguars. 45 is on the road, so it's, it is.
That one.
But yeah, you don't want it to be what it felt like back in 2018, where you beat the Patriots, and that was like, you don't want the Kansas City game to be the Patriots game of 2018, where that happened, and then you're on top of the world and everything felt great, and then everything fell apart. And that's what we talked about so much this offseason and the beginning of this season, is how this team feels different in the light of they were checking off some of those boxes that had been hovering over them for a long time, and now it feels like they've backtracked a little bit. And so you want to get back to where you feel like things are changing and you're turning the pages from things. If you lose against the Raiders, you're going right back to the beginning chapters at that point.
The bye week normally doesn't always mean you have the week off. You just aren't playing that next weekend. Did he give the team the whole week off?
I mean, according to the media schedule, there was media availability today for 2 different players, and then after that, there's nothing the rest of this week. So as far as what the team is doing, I don't believe they're practicing, but I wouldn't know that unless Liam.
I mean, that's not against the rules these days, is he? Can't
I would
practice
imagine
during
it
your bye
is
week?
against the rules, yeah.
That you can't practice
what I
during
would
your bye?
think.
Really?
I mean, how soft
usually
it
the
is
bye
now.
week, you'd go like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll see you on Monday. That kind
That's
of
how
thing.
it used to be.
Yeah, right. They don't do it like that anymore. I didn't know that.
I guess they're allowed to hold practice, quick Google search, allowed to hold
Okay.
practice up to 3 days while the players get the rest of the week
Yeah, I
off.
can see
I was
that,
about to say, because I think the
same
Bears
kinda deal.
practiced on their bye.
So
in
I
week
think
5.
the tricky part is because they were in London and coming back, they're not going to probably practice right that Monday because they landed at probably 3 a.m. I heard Loggeman say today. So
Some may
I don't
still
know
be
the
there.
schedule.
Yeah.
Some might
That's just
potentially
interesting.
still
Whatever.
relevant.
If they practice as a team or not, a lot of individuals got to work on their game this week. And you can go have your fun. Do what you got to do, but make sure you get your work in, man. And if it's kicking, if it's conditioning, if it's just strength, whatever, healing up, getting the mind right, studying a little bit more. You got to put in the time, man, because you're right. They're on that crossroads right now. Like, yesterday I'm sitting there thinking, like, are they the 4 win, the 3 loss? They feel like the 3 loss, but, you can't let that take over. Like, you got very winnable games coming up. You got some really tough games coming up. Indy's going to be tough. Indy's not a joke. They're not a joke. They are not any kind of fluke. I think they're a pretty tough out. We'll see about the Chargers. They're kind of up and down. Denver's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough out. That's not going to be, not that any of them are easy. I don't mean it like that. And then we don't know about the Texans. That's why you got to beat the Raiders. Like, you got to have that one. Just like you probably wish you had Cincinnati, because you could have stacked that in there and said, okay, another AFC win. It's helping us down the road. Maybe we don't win the division. But if you don't win the division, then those AFC wins really matter. Right, more so than the other, like the non-conference schedule. Yeah. So this is a big game for them, but I'd be interested to know how many guys do hang around. A lot of them have families. They already took the trip. You had plenty of time out there. It looked like, you were taking pictures all over London. It looked like looks like you were having a hell of a time. Maybe you could stay in the husband's can go back home and get to work so they could pay for that extended trip. I don't know, but I don't know. It's just, look, you got to do what you got to do. But the last 2 weeks have shown that this team, and by the way, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, because I keep hearing, I hear it from Liam too, like these self-inflicted wounds. There are, but you're also getting your ass kicked. And I don't want that message to be like lost amongst the team, because after your head coach tells you enough that it's not them, it's us, you start believing it. And you're like, oh, yeah, I could get blocked. But he just blocked me because he had a good angle. He got me on a bad snap. Whatever. You create all these different excuses for yourself. So, and I know he's not trying to do that. I'm not trying to say that he is, but I don't want to hear that all these self-inflicted. Yeah, there's some of that. You're also getting beat at the line of scrimmage. And you can see it the last 2 weeks. And you've gotten almost dominated at the line of scrimmage. Seattle was bad. And L.A. was pretty darn bad, too. I mean, it was not a good showing for our front seven nor our line in the last 2 outings.
Yeah, I think when Liam said last week, we just have to focus on ourselves. And Tom, you were like, well, actually, no, I think you need to focus on the Rams also. Yeah. This isn't just about this team. It's about the opponent.
Your opponent, yeah.
And I don't feel like they did necessarily a great job of figuring out how to cover Devontae Adams, of figuring out the different looks that the Rams were going to do as far as the 2 tight end sets and things like that. And again, Liam Coen's not going to get to the podium and throw his players under the bus. That's not going to happen. And Trevor Lawrence isn't going to go to the podium and do that either. Yep. And it does, though, feel like that's what we want to hear when the losses look like that.
Yeah, well, and especially because Liam has, I wouldn't say thrown guys under the bus, but he's had his moments where he did call out Anton in the offseason without being like, it's Anton's fault and he sucks and needs to get better. He did it in ways where you were like, oh, wow, this is him saying that Anton can play really well, but he doesn't always put in the effort to play very well. That's what I think people want to hear right now, or some of those that we saw during OTAs and camp of Liam saying, like, yes, here's the problems, but without being an a-hole about it, like we saw from Doug Peterson sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's 7 games in. They're doing pretty darn good for, a first-year head coach. But you see these issues that, by the way, have been happening during the wins, too, right? We saw them. Yeah. And then they're trickulating into the losses. And now you're like, oh, well, they keep going. How are you going to stop this? I mean, look, I think Liam's going to go back to what he did before. He's got to go back to those basics, right? Okay, so you are telling them they're self-inflicted. Great. Fix them. No more. Like, there's no
Line
more.
Line up properly.
Yeah, just get done. It's over. Loud. Like, there's no more. I don't know how you discipline that at today's game. Just sitting them on the bench, hurt them, not playing them at all. Do they care enough? You know what I mean? But you got to figure out something so these things don't continuously happen. And then you can't have that excuse, because that is, when you sit there and go, that's self-inflicted, well, that's kind of an excuse. Yeah, some of it's true, though. Some of it is true. I'll give them some of that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, man, it's much more than just, a bad call here or a bad play here or, this and that. It's bad execution. It's sometimes bad coverage. I thought we were done with leaving guys wide open. I thought that was over with. I thought we were going to be better at that. You know how I feel about the secondary. I'm putting Travis. What did they do? They put him on Devontae and it did pretty well against him. Do that all the time if he can handle it, and then flip on offense. But the secondary, they give up a lot of yards. Not a lot of yards against Stafford, but going in, they were last in the league. Your safeties are out of position.
Yeah. 5 touchdown passes. I don't care about
5
the yards.
touchdowns. No, you're right. 5
Doesn't
touchdown
matter to me.
passes, just not good. Look, you're doing well on third down and you're stopping the run, but everything else in between's not happening, and you're costing your team a lot of games. And look, I look back on that tape again, and I think McVay took it easy. I think he let the pedal off the gas. I think he could have been 28-0 at halftime easily, maybe even more. I think at the end, he's like, all right, they're going to score. Let's score them again. You will go down there and score, because they did. They went down at will for the most part.
They did. This defense, though, had a reputation, at least before the Seahawks game, of taking the ball away. And so the one thing that you don't want to do in that situation when you are up 21-0 is give this defense that has been opportunistic throughout a lot of this season the chance to take the ball away. Obviously, we didn't have that feeling that this defense was going to do
and
that.
Stafford doesn't often. The Rams have put the ball on the ground, like with Kyron Williams, more than Stafford's going to ever get rid of the ball or make a bad decision.
Yeah,
right, and so maybe that's what he's thinking is just don't even give this defense the
chance.
chance.
If it was a tighter game, he'd run his offense.
I would imagine so. Yes, okay. I think there's definitely. I'm not saying he didn't take it easy.
I just felt like
there's a couple different things.
What they do? They ran a play and then they kneeled. Or ran 2 plays and then kneeled it
with like 45.
Whatever. Listen, at the end of the day, they scored.
Stafford was like, I'm tired already. I have 3 touchdowns.
I was playing baseball, or at least playing football on a baseball field.
But I think a lot of that's got to get better.
The thing I want to talk about in the next segment. Why are the Jaguars' best players not playing their best football? I want to get into that. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, provided by Green Law Group. Get national insight from a local legend.
I know exactly who this man is.
Mike Duraco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Written by Lee and Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday
is served by
Morgan & Morgan.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. This is Frank Frangie for the farm at Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville in Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. The amenities include a 2,300-acre hunting lease. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Wing Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple, the installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
What Jacksonville Jaguars player has scored the most touchdowns?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
With 81 touchdowns scored in his career, Maurice Jones-Drew is the all-time touchdown leader for the Jaguars. Fred Taylor is second with 70.
Southern Oak Insurance.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality and a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is. A good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home, for a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool, or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
Congrats to former Florida Special Teams ace Brandon James and safety Todd Johnson's induction into the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame. Friday, October 31st, presented by Miller Electric. To attend, go to flgajax.com/Hall of Fame.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask? So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. I love fast country music. I think you'll already know this about me, but I'm just letting you know in case you don't know already.
You like fast cars and fast country music, do you?
Yeah, there's a Rascal Flatts song called Fast Cars and Freedom.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a good one. I'm sure you've heard that one. It's not recent.
Yeah. Who's singing this one? Is this Toby Keith?
This is Thomas Rhett.
Oh, Thomas Rhett.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And there might be somebody else in this one. I don't remember, but I know for sure the lead is Thomas Rhett. All right.
Reminds me of the "If you could, you ain't you gonna." If I asked you, would you wanna be
Garth
mine?
Brooks.
Yeah, that's like the fast that I always.
How
think
does
of.
that go again?
What you're thinking of is not Garth Brooks. The one I was thinking of is Garth Brooks. The "Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes
Oh,
Up."
yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of. The one you're thinking of might be John Michael Montgomery.
If I asked you, would you
Yeah,
wanna
that's
be
who that
that
is.
one? Yeah. I love that song.
Yeah. Like I said, I love fast country music.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
slow
yeah,
country
it's
music's
great.
all right, but fast is just more fun. All right, so Tom and Taylor, can y'all answer this question for me? Why are the Jaguars' best players not playing like their best players? Obviously, we'll start with Brian Thomas Jr. He is not catching the ball the way that he should. We talked a lot yesterday about the whole throwing over the middle and things like that, but even when he's not over the middle, Brian Thomas Jr. is still letting the ball slip through his hands, as are other players on this team. The Jaguars lead the NFL in drops. So that's certainly one guy, but Josh Hines-Allen has half a sack through 7 games.
Yeah.
He's gotten a lot of pressures, but he hasn't gotten to the quarterback, even though, yes, he would have gotten half a sack this past weekend if there wasn't a penalty. But overall, like, those are two of the better players. Trayvon Walker, yes, he's hurt now. So, but he also didn't have sacks early
Before,
on. He had a ton of sacks.
You're right.
Eric Armstead, we thought this would be the year now that he's playing defensive tackle. Yes, he leads the team in sacks, but
but
he hasn't been a stud.
Yep.
Foye Luakin has been playing fine like he always does, but I don't think he's necessarily elevating those around
Lloyd
him.
was playing pretty awesome.
Devin Lloyd absolutely
we'll
was
give
playing
Devin-
way better than what we anticipated. Travis Etienne started off great, not playing
It's
as
kinda
well
fizzled
now.
out. Yeah.
They just don't go to the run game, it seems like, enough. But you're right. He hasn't been nearly as explosive.
Patrick McCary was the highest paid offensive lineman that they brought in from the
Tackles
Ravens.
have struggled.
Yeah,
that's
what, like even the Ezra you saw in
Ezra
glimpses
Cleveland,
hasn't been quite the Ezra that you
Quarterback.
And the quarterback, I was leaving him
He
for last, the
hasn't been-
$55 million per year man. He obviously is not playing his best football. I'm sure Liam and the staff are asking this question, but why?
I tell you, just the throws that he misses, at least from I've seen, is he throws when he's flat-footed. He only uses his arm. He doesn't step into it. He's got one. He's got one speed. You saw a difference in Stafford's
Less
throws
touch,
with some touch, and he just doesn't really have that much touch. It seems. Look, some of his throws, as we all know, are spectacular. The throw to Travis Hunter was awesome.
Yeah.
Do that more.
The
Let's see.
touchdown.
Yeah, 7 route. Do that. I want to see more of that, and maybe we can. But look, we all know for years we've all, not all of us here, I'm just saying our market, had come up with reasons, excuses. Well, it's this, it's that, it's this.
It's Urban Meyer.
And,
it's
yeah,
his second
it's everything.
offense. It's his
It's
third
everything
offense.
but-
He didn't have weapons.
but
The offensive
him.
line didn't protect him.
Right.
He was hurt. We've been through it.
Yeah, but it's him. And you go as far as your quarterback goes. And I know, look, Liam's dialing it up as best he can. He's not, I think play calling was a little suspect last week. We said that, or Sunday.
2 weeks.
I didn't like, I didn't like a lot of it. There didn't seem to be any rhythm. You're not doing your quarterback a favor. Even the first play of the Rams, you're dropping back and you're getting sacked. You're like, what is going on? What I don't know. It just seemed like it felt different. So that's got to be better. But, look, at the end of the day, man, they got to figure out a way for these really good players to start playing like top players. I mean, look, De'Ami Brown even, I think Parker Washington's, he's gone above our expectations, but even still in. But De'Ami, look, he was expecting big things out of him.
Yeah,
Started
Britton
off
Strange
strong.
probably is the only player
Strange.
on offense that I would say I didn't see any holes in his game before he was injured. And then, certainly
Then he gets
Devin
hurt.
Lloyd. We kind of joked, Taylor, about the whole Tua Tagovailoa thing and the players-only meeting and how he called out some of the players that were late to that, and that obviously was an issue down in Miami. I feel like we kind of need to hear that a players-only meeting has occurred.
It's happening.
Yeah, maybe not this week because it is the bye week, but certainly early next week. I would enjoy hearing or respect that, especially if it was a Trevor Lawrence and a Bratton Thomas Jr. and a Josh Hines Allen pulling the guys together.
Yeah, and I think that we go back to when James Gladstone and Liam Coen got here, and they clearly didn't like this roster. The amount of moves that they made at that point in time, right away, out of the gates, getting rid of Ingram and Christian Kirk, and they're not all of these moves that everyone was kind of like, whoa, but whatever. It's James Gladstone. He's fixing the roster. If they really felt like the roster was that bad, which it seems like they did, it's not going to be fixed in 7 games into a season. And I think that's unfortunately where they're at. I think that there were a lot of holes this offseason that weren't able to be filled in one offseason. And the problem is some of the players that you were, like a Josh Hines Allen, a Brian Thomas Jr., some of those guys that you were, Tyson Campbell, that you were expecting to be major role players in this offense and kind of change some games here and there, make big plays, haven't been. So the guys that you thought could shift this into an exciting team to watch haven't done their job. But I also just think the roster wasn't that good. And people got mad at me because I didn't love the offensive line moves. People were still mad at me a few weeks ago. I didn't think they ever did enough. And it's kind of showing right now. We'll see if they trend back up. I hope they do. But I didn't love any of the things that they did in free agency other than Jordan Lewis. And I feel like Jordan Lewis, when he obviously, we've seen him get banged up this last game, but I think he's one of the better players that are on the team right now, honestly, at least most consistent, one of the most consistent. And I just think there's a lot farther that the Jags have to go because Trent Baalke and company dug them into so many holes, and I think it's going to take some time to get out of that. But with all that being said, you need your players getting paid a lot of money. Trevor Lawrence, Josh Hines Allen, some of those guys to step up. Eric Armstead, Makari, we're talking about that. I'm hearing them talking about not even playing. Patrick O'Halloran was talking yesterday like it's time to set him on the bench, and so we're already having this conversation, and you're in week 7. I just don't think they had enough moves in the offseason to drastically change a roster that was as bad as it was last year.
And we talked about it in the offseason, everything was built around Trevor, it felt like, but your offensive line, you didn't go after any major tackle. You sat there and said, well, we'll stick with Walker Little. I don't think Fred really had a shot at beating him out. Walker was number 1 the whole time, the left tackle the entire time, even when he was getting beat. It's not just him, but they didn't do anything with Anton. They went kind of middle of the road. They could bring it back, like you said, because if they play together, maybe they could bring it back and get something going, but you didn't hit on your O-line. But with all the holes that you had, that was one big hole. Why wouldn't you go out and just get the best left tackle? You brand new regime. You got your quarterback, whether you're going to go with him long term or not, it doesn't matter. He's your guy. He is now. Why wouldn't you go out and get the best left tackle that you could?
Well, you could have drafted a left tackle instead of drafting Travis Hunter, or even trading up, obviously, to draft Travis Hunter. And that's something that we can discuss in the offseason. The thing I'll push
I like
back.
Travis Hunter.
No, I get, and I certainly
know what you're
understand that,
saying.
but
it would be a different approach.
I'm saying,
right?
yeah, if people are wishing that they had done something about a tackle instead of spending all that money in free agency on one. But what I think I would push back on the one sentiment is, if this roster isn't that good, how did they beat Kansas City on Monday Night Football and beat San Francisco, which is a really good football team?
Because San Francisco is missing half their players. I'll tell you that one. Kansas City, I think, was a good win, but I think that the worst teams you're still seeing have good wins this year. The Panthers are 4-3. Let's talk about that. Like, there are teams right now this season that are not good, and their quarterbacks are worse than Trevor or the same as Trevor, and they're winning football games because you get a little lucky. You get a pick six that gives you a score. You get 4 turnovers, 3 turnovers. That stuff helps you, but is that sustainable for an entire season? What it looks like right now is no.
No, I mean, look, the defense and the takeaways was carrying the team. And without pressure, there's no takeaways. So who's carrying the team? It's not the QB. It's not the running game. So who is it? Yeah. It's nobody right now, because that was doing it for us, right? I mean, we're getting returns and
Parker
throwing
Washington
special teams.
and Devin Lloyd, those two right
special
there.
teams, right, too, as well. So, look, it's.
But they were also able to run the ball, and the offensive line looked great early on. And
I don't know. They did.
That was against the Texans.
Right.
That was a win against the Texans. We thought that defense was really good all offseason. And I'm pushing back, obviously, because
it's good.
We don't want to be doom and gloom with 4 wins going into this bye week. But at the same time, this team is not a Super Bowl caliber team. Like, this team can't win the Super Bowl.
Not right now.
And I think some of us, and I'm not saying I was in this, but some people in Jacksonville or fans that were fans of the Jaguars across the world, after the 4th win, after beating Kansas City, thought, okay, maybe we should, maybe not win the Super Bowl, but maybe we should think about this team being one of the better teams in the AFC.
Well, the national media was treating them as such for the first time in a very long time, and they were. They were. And I'm not, look, again, you can look back. It all depends how they finish, right? Because you could look back and be like, man, do you remember when we got killed by the Rams? But look how much better we are today. And I do think, I think part of that Rams loss was, McVay did a phenomenal job calling plays. He had Campanelli on the ropes. And it's okay. Look, he had a misdirect. The misdirection will kill you. He had the run game going a little bit. He had the screen game going a little bit. He had the down the field pass going a little bit.
He has Matthew Stafford.
And he just had, he had Stafford hitting all his guys for the most part, but he had him off balance. You didn't know what he was going to bring next. And those misdirections,
Coen, by the way.
Those misdirections will mess you up as a defense. There's no doubt. And they did a great job with that balance, and we didn't have anything to counteract from a defensive stance, a point of view. And then on offense, we couldn't get it going enough. We got to go in a tiny bit, but other than that, we just couldn't get it going. Yeah. And look, even those yards late in the game, some of that's they're way up. I don't know. I mean, look, they got to still play, but they didn't seem like they felt like they were playing like a soft shell, giving us whatever we wanted. You know what I mean? But
like a prevent.
I don't know. Yeah, like a prevent. You always gain a lot of yards on that. But again, you can turn around. Like Taylor just said, look, the offensive line, no, we're not happy with them. Can they get back to what they were? Or at least close to being that? Maybe not all the way back, but close to it. Can Trevor just be a little bit better on those easy ones? The hard ones, we're not going to give you too much grief on that, right? You're trying to fit it in a hole. But the layups, you can't keep missing. And the ones that you do connect on, give it to them in the right spot so they don't have to jump or leap or make this unbelievable catch in order to make a completion. Get it into them quicker, get it into the right spot. Run game, get it go. Look, this up the butt the middle, it's like, haven't we seen that before? Like, it doesn't work. Maybe if you have Henry, and he's coming through the middle, but they get him outside even. So get ETN outside, man. Get him in that shoot. Let him get up and out and see if he can make something happen. So look, can that come back? Yeah, it can come back. Can they get pressures back? Yeah. But guess what? When he calls the blitz, you got to win. And you can't be late. They were late. There was a double. I think it was a double safety blitz or something. They were both so late. I'm like, why'd you even blitz? Like the ball is snapped. He's in his drop back, and now you're
that was one of the touchdowns.
And you're way out here, back there. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't even bother. So.
And that's what I think you do. You have to hope that these last couple games, and you can say Clint Kubiak and Sean McVay outcoached this team, and that can be a part of it. And hopefully that's that. And they take this bye week and look at some of the things. And you don't want it to be a situation where you talk about in the first 4 weeks of a season, nobody knows what this team was going to be because they didn't know what type of defense Coach Camp was going to have. They weren't sure. You had glimpses of Liam Coen and, in the NFL. He was only play calling last year, though, with Baker. So you really weren't quite sure what this offense would even look like with Liam. What you don't want to happen is now that teams have film on Jags, the Jags become predictable again, and teams are able to outcoach and out-scheme because now you have examples of what worked and you shut those things down and the offense can't do other things. So that's what you don't want to happen, and that's what we've seen these last 2 weeks. So hopefully a bye week helps that, and hopefully a bye week they can just kind of recalibrate and get things back on, okay, let's do some of these changes. Let's look at what's working and what's not working and lean into those things, not throw the ball 45 times. Please.
An offense coordinator can't run his offense with inaccurate throws and no protection on his QB. I mean, that's like a recipe for disaster.
And that's the thing. Like,
that's what we've been seeing.
Just because a team has film on the Jags for the first 4 weeks, this line wasn't protecting it, Trevor, the last 2 weeks specifically. So, like, just because, you have film, if the line's not doing anything.
Well, that's what I think that, too, though. They've seen how to take advantage of some of the weaknesses in the line. And Tommy was talking about it early on, like where Walker gets beat. He gets beat inside. Teams now have film on that, how to beat Walker Little. You can use film to beat the offensive lines, too.
Yeah, you can. I mean, look, you can. I mean, you still got to do it on game day.
Yeah.
Just because you've seen it and you think you got it strategized doesn't mean it will. But yeah, they attack our defense. Who do they attack? They attack the safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are deliberate attacks on our safety. Let's get him to play action fake. We'll sneak the tight end out. He'll never catch up, and we're gonna have a long gain at the very least. That's just game planning, for seeing the tendency. Seeing that they do it's easier said than done, I know, but it happened last year too. We flash a high low in front of the safety, especially coming from the other side. They jumped the under route every single time, and that deep one was normally open. That's just from knowing that's how they defend. Coach Camp's zone blitz with outside coverage, and that safety's supposed to be inside. Past few times, what happens? Jumping up. Well, that outside coverage, we'll just throw a little post. He'll never be able to make up that ground. You know what I mean? Put it in the right spot, you're going to have a touchdown like you saw with Njigba against Seattle. So those things can be found. I think with the offense now, Trevor's done a better job of not just doing first reads, but when you're off on your first read, you're not going to be good on your second read. And when he's not having time to get to his second and third read, that's a problem too. But again, I think we got to go back to those bread and butter plays for just get him in a good rhythm. I'm telling you right now, nobody can stop Travis Hunter in that out route. There's nobody in the league that can stop if it's thrown on time. It could be Diami, it could be Brian Thomas, doesn't matter, but I'm just using him because he seems to be our best threat right now. But yeah, use those bread and butter plays. The quick slant. Trevor's normally pretty good on the quick slant. He puts it right on the numbers for the most part, and it's a good one. The dig, as long as what they're doing to him on a lot, they're playing a lot of zone against him, and that backside zone is just sitting there waiting. Because they know what? He's going to throw it if we're here. I mean, he don't care if we're here. He's going to throw it. He does lock in too much from time to time. They know that's on film. But they also know if he gets out and starts running, it's going to be a problem, right? And then he gets better as that goes on. Yeah. So they see that on tape as well. So it's all right there. The film doesn't lie, right? It'll never lie. It tells you everything that's going on right there on film. And unfortunately for our film right now, we see some tendencies where we can get beat. So now it's up to Liam and company to counteract those and make sure that we don't get caught in those situations. So we don't give up big plays or we don't get our quarterback killed. You got to figure it out. I will say I like that they brought in Van Lanen for the extra tackle. And he helped out a little bit, for a little while when they had him out there. So maybe you see him in the lineup. Maybe there's a time for a change there. Is Wyatt Milam gonna? We got a bye week. That's why I'm surprised they're not practicing. Like I'd be like, hey Wyatt, I'd be in his ear, like, hey man, it's bye week. This might be your chance.
Yeah.
If you show us a little bit.
Cole Van Lanen.
Show us a little bit, right?
They have other options if they. Yeah, it's obviously up to Liam and the staff to be able to figure out with the extra week off what they're going to do. If they keep what they've done the last 2 weeks it's not going to be pretty. All right, we've got more to do on the other side. Liam Coen met with media yesterday. I'll let you hear from him. Also, Tom's takeaways. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 10 to Nix on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Bought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
I know two brothers whose minds are always in the gutters.
Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Kevin.
We are the Good Brothers.
That's good with an E.
From Good Brothers Roofs and Gutters.
We install 6 and 7-inch seamless gutters, plus we repair and replace roofs, pool enclosures, and super gutters.
We are the Good Brothers, veteran-owned and local.
Visit goodbrothersroofsandgutters.com.
License number CCC 1334384.
Good Brothers Roofs and Gutters.
Hey, fellow Floridians.
We're the Wombles.
We're retirees with 5 grandkids. And huge fans of natural gas. When the kiddos visit from Ohio, we go through towels like pool water. That's why we love our natural gas dryer. It dries in a jiff.
So we use less energy and save money, too.
Yep.
Now earn up to a $300 cashback rebate when you install a new energy-efficient natural gas dryer. To learn more, go to peoplesgas.com/rebates.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Covered by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, johnautomotivejacks.com.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and this time of the year, Honda has such a great lineup, especially when you want to get out on the road and just cruise.
Temperatures letting up a little bit, like Oktoberfest is coming. Legendary Honda Goldwing, legendary Honda Rebel that's now an automatic. Lots to choose from and lots of easy riding.
And the price range and the size of the bike, you have a wide variety.
We do, from entry points to the finest of the fine.
All right, check them out. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency or their Facebook page.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. You hear about guarantees and warranties. What is Underwood's policy?
Frank, to talk about guarantees and warranties, you have to look at our history of over 70 years in business. Underwood's entire reason for existence is and has been to offer fine products that will be used with such satisfaction that both the giver and the receiver will want to come back, and hopefully they'll tell their friends about us. To do this means we've got to try our hardest to satisfy every customer. All of our people understand that. Now, I'm sure over the years we've made a few mistakes, but we've never failed to make good on any Underwood product that was returned with a legitimate customer complaint. Our entire reputation would mean nothing if we didn't conduct ourselves that way. Simply put, conducting our business with integrity is a lot more important to Underwoods and our customers than all the guarantees, warranties, and contrived legal obligations in the world. And you've got Underwood's word, my word, and all of our people's word on that.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Fast Car Jaguars and Freedom by Rascal Flatts. I knew RJ would come through. RJ, have you ever heard this song before?
I've only heard one song by Rascal Flatts.
Okay, what is that?
If you like the movie, the Pixar animated film Cars, Life is a Highway.
Okay, so that's a cover of that
That's
song.
by Rascal Flatts. I don't care.
They definitely covered that song.
I like My Wish.
Yeah.
That's a good
that's
song.
a good
That's a good one.
They have a lot of good ones.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. I was sitting there going, wait a minute, what's this, Country Tuesday? I didn't get the memo. We got country music every little
Well, Tom,
break or what?
if you're paying attention, if you mention a song on the show, one RJ Saunders is very
We'll play
keen
it.
to pick up on that and then play said song. So if there's a rock song that's in your head right now that you want played on the show, I
How
recommend
about Anything Goes by Guns N' Roses?
If you want to write that one down.
This has now become a DJ
There you
for
go.
RJ.
That's right.
DJ position for RJ Saunders.
Nice, very nice.
All right, time now for Tom's takeaways.
Now,
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's Takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, my takeaway on this Tuesday is it's bye week, and when you come off 2 bad losses, you're going to want to go do some things, and I think it's okay if you do. You know, you just can't lose perspective of where you're at as an NFL football player. You know, I think it feels like today, you know, look, it's a weird job, right? It's like part entertainment. It's part sports. It's not real life. It's surreal life, right? I mean, from the way you get paid, from being on TV, from the way they take care of you medically, from pretty much everything. You know, it's just a different kind of life. And when you're sitting there on your bye week, and whether you're in Miami or you're at home or you're with your family, you got to be thinking about the year you're having and what you're going to do to change the year that you're having, because you guys, all of you, and that's from Trevor to Eric to I don't care who it is, Liam, you got to look in the mirror, man, and this is a great time to do it. And again, you can have your cake and eat it too, there's no doubt. Make sure you condition though, fellas, and don't throw up too much, you know what I mean? Make sure you run the next day. But you got to look in the mirror, man. You got to fix what's wrong with you individually, whether that's mental, emotional, or physical. It doesn't matter. It's a great time to do it, and hopefully our Jaguars are doing that this week. And that's my takeaway today, brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
I do think the bye week came at a good time because this team the last 2 weeks has looked incredibly flat. I understand about the self-inflicted wounds, but the energy that you bring to the table also matters.
Yeah.
And they looked lackadaisical to meet against both the Seahawks and the Rams, and that is certainly from the head coach down, but it's also a player-driven thing. Like, this is a fairy tale life that you get to live outside of maybe being injured a lot through your early 20s.
Trust me, it's one of the greatest jobs in the entire world.
Right, and I believe
There's nothing
that
that
100%.
compares. There's nothing compares in the real world to playing in the NFL. No, but it doesn't last long either. So you better make the most out of it as best you can. And you know, look, I think when you get beat at the line of scrimmage like they have, right? That's where you really got to look deep in your soul and say, I can't allow that to happen. And if you got guys that are getting beat on the defensive line, you got to replace them.
And that's what Baselli preached, right? This offseason, Gladstone too, but that they were going to focus on the lines of scrimmage. And through the first few weeks, again, the sacks weren't there, but the offensive line the Jaguars ran the football behind that offensive line, and they protected Trevor. He had all day to throw the football. He wasn't necessarily always throwing it accurately, but he still had all day to throw the football. Obviously, the last 2 weeks against these good defensive fronts, that was not the case whatsoever.
And the other, flip it around, we had takeaways from pressure. We had no pressure the last 2 weeks, right? Because their opposing offensive lines took care of us. So it'll be interesting to see if they change the lineup a little. Like, I want to see Saunders. I want to see Colin Saunders. Like, okay, he wasn't a fit for whatever, but now you should try him. I got no disrespect against anybody, but I see Austin Johnson, number 99, pushed back a lot and on his back way too many times. I know he shouldn't be. He's a big son of a gun, of course, but on that football field, he's not getting the job done. So why wouldn't you try something different?
I mean, if you don't, then you're an idiot.
Like we said with Wyatt.
Not necessarily Colin Saunders, but if you don't make changes, you're a dummy.
with Wyatt Milam. Maybe it is time. Maybe it's time to just say, hey, what do we got to lose? We drafted this kid. We like this kid. I don't know where you're going to play him yet.
Well,
wherever you play him, but you give him that chance.
I think you move Anton Harrison from right tackle to left tackle. Then Walker Little can be your swing tackle, right? Or Cole Van Lannon can, whatever, as far as the swing tackle is concerned. And then your right guard, Patrick McCary, sits down, Wyatt Milam goes in. So then I've changed enough of the offensive line. Again, they see stuff
who's
in
your right
practice that
tackle?
we don't. Yeah, and Chuma Doga would probably be my right tackle.
Oh, who's the right tackle, right?
If Anton moves, you'd put a
unless
Doga,
unless
right?
they like Cole Van Lannon. Cole Van Lannon or Chuma Doga, I'd put in at right tackle.
Yeah, you have to try something. I mean, and we talked about this during camp of they were mixing it up a lot, and we were like, okay, at some point you've got to get like what starting five you want. But we appreciated that they were trying different things and seeing the best five that they believed were the best five. I think it may be time to do it again and try and figure out, because it's not working at this point in time.
And I would say Dewey too, by the way. As far as if we're making changes, I would say, you know what? I know you care. I know you're trying hard and all that stuff. Not every penalty was on you, or the penalties that were on you, like that unnecessary roughness, I didn't like. But either way, you've been out of position too much recently. And so whether it is Ray and Lane, who you certainly drafted, whether it is Antonio Johnson, who the previous regime drafted, I don't know what combination you want to go with, especially if Eric Murray's hurt, then you may not be able to sit Dewey at that point in time. But you have to make changes because, again, the next few weeks are critical.
Listen, Eric Murray's been okay. He hasn't been outstanding by any means. He had a couple of nice hits coming up, but he's also made mistakes too.
Yep.
You know, they all have.
And he was playing with a neck injury that he aggravated.
Jordan Lewis has made a lot of plays. He's also got beat on a lot of plays too. I mean, Cooper Kupp took him to school a week ago from the slot. He got beat a couple of times. They get beat. Everybody gets beat. I'm not saying that happens, but we got to talk about our good players, our best players playing to that level. He's got to jump it up too.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think some of that too comes from when we talk about the lack of pass rush, because I feel like these guys in the back are having to cover receivers for 4, 5, 6 seconds at times, and that's not ideal.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. And any quarterback worth his salt in the NFL that doesn't get pressured is going to make the throws, especially if you play zone, because there's always holes in zone because of the pass off. It's just natural. So you're always going to find that hole. You're always going to find someone sitting in the zone. If you move around and you know, and they break it, you break containment, then the zone's going crazy. Then it all goes crazy. And someone's going to be wide open, just sitting there in a zone because somebody vacated the zone, trying to come up and take care of the quarterback.
Are there holes in the ozone too? Just
I think so.
I do want to let you hear from Liam Coen. We return. Also, Taylor's Tangent comes your way. It is 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL. Sports sounds better on radio.
I love it. I love it.
You get the most live sports on 1010XL.
Joe C for Hard Rock Bet. Hail Marys, QB draws, corner fades, it doesn't matter. When you bet on touchdowns with Hard Rock Bet, every game day can turn into a big payday. Pick your favorite player to find the end zone in Week 6 now. Last week, one bettor turned a $20 3-leg first touchdown scorer parlay into a massive $12,000 win. Are you next? Download the Hard Rock Bet app now. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Business owners, listen up. If your plumbing or AC company keeps giving you the runaround, it's time to cut them loose. Call my friends at Duck Duck Rooter. They already partner with some of the biggest commercial operations in Northeast Florida, like the Jaguars and station operations. Their office team makes invoicing a breeze, and their field techs, top-notch pros. Make the switch today. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
Hey, life can get a little hectic at times, and no one has time to get hurt. Lost wages, injuries that not only hurt, but ones that hinder our success. If you're in this position, due to the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. What's up, Jacksonville? This is Tom McManus, and injuries suck, and I know it. And if you get injured out there, you check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the country. 100 offices, over 1,000 lawyers with enough firepower to handle any and all personal injury cases that you may be dealing with. And they make filing a claim easy, and they don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit Pound Law from your cell. Pound Law, that's all.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest-A-Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest-A-Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestaProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestaProsNEFlorida.com.
Rest-A-Pros!
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 21st, 1976, the New York Knicks retired Willis Reed's number 19 jersey, which was the first in Knicks history.
Early detection saves lives. This month, join Ackerman Cancer Center to go light blue and take action with prostate screening and their expert guidance. Book your screening consult and experience the Ackerman Advantage at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
Coen Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is Max with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call Coen Flowers. They'll do it all.
Introducing your new Dell PC with the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps you handle a lot, even when your holiday to-do list gets to be a lot. Like organizing your holiday shopping and searching for great holiday deals and customer questions and customers requesting custom things, plus planning the perfect holiday dinner for vegans, vegetarians, pescatarians, and Uncle Mike's carnivore diet. Luckily, you can get a PC with all-day battery life to help you get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside, backed by Dell's price match guarantee. Get yours today at Dell.com/deals. Terms and conditions apply. See Dell.com for details.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Oh, yeah.
That's more my style.
This is
Tied
what you
up,
wanted.
tied down, up against the wall. Yeah, it's a good one. My Way, Your Way, Anything Goes Tonight. It's a classic. And the guitar by Slash, just insane. That's off Appetite for Destruction. That was incredible when they came out. I was 18, 19 years old when they came out. I saw them at, it was an outdoor venue, Poplar Creek in Illinois, outside of
nice.
Chicago. They opened for Aerosmith. We're like, who's this Guns N' Roses band? And they totally kicked butt. We were like,
year
oh
was
my
crazy.
God, those guys are incredible.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And they've been awesome ever since.
Absolutely.
I met Slash in Vegas. Did I tell that story?
No.
Yeah, so I was on IR 97, and I had the ACL, and I did it early in camp, so I was pretty much healed because I did the cadaver ligament.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a quicker healing. So I was really good with rehab and all that. And they knew I'd take care of it. But I went to the trainers. I'm like, you guys are going to Dallas. What do you think I go to Vegas with my brother Mike and his friends and we go see the Rolling Stones? They're like, yeah, no problem, Tommy. You can go. And I was like, okay. And they're like, I don't know if we're going to tell Coughlin or not until you get back. Like, all right, whatever. I don't really care. But so we ended up going. And real quick, but the day of the show, we're at the MGM Grand. They have this big, like, half horseshoe of this bar. It's massive. And we've been seeing all types of celebrities throughout. My buddy Will and I are standing at the bar. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon. And he's like, holy cow, it's Slash. And I look over. I'm like, oh, my gosh, it really is Slash. He had all these bodyguards around. He's like, you got to go say hi to him. I'm like, no, man, he don't want to talk to me. He's like, come on, you're in the NFL. Just go up there and they'll know you're in the NFL. Like, all right, fine, I'm going to go do it. And I go up, and he got up, and He was the coolest. His bodyguard got him. He's like 6'9", like 350.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh, hey, big fella. But he was so cool. And I even said to him, I said, man, I grew up with your music. So I make you feel old. I said, no, we're like the same age. Like, your music was just phenomenal and inspiring. He was such a cool dude. I just got to finish with this. So I had my brace on. He goes, oh, man, you play ball? I said, yeah. He goes, for who? I said, the Jags. He's like, oh, I watched you guys in the playoffs last year. I said, yeah. He goes, what happened? I said, I hurt my knee. He puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, that's a drag. I said, yeah, it is, Slash. We're really nice to meet you. And off we went.
Did you get a picture of him?
No, there was no pictures back then, I don't think, in 97. Well, if you had the
camera,
throwaway.
The Polaroid.
The Polaroid or the throwaway, the yellow one. You know,
the disposable ones, which are like $45 now to get a disposable.
Yeah, why is
Because it's vintage.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those old school. Yeah.
Dang.
Anyway, good memories.
Yeah, no, that's fun. We didn't see any celebrities when we were in Vegas this most recent time.
We did not, actually.
No.
We'll be on the hunt looking for
We're
celebrities.
going to look all over.
In a couple weeks. And want to remind people, since we will be there very soon, sign up if you are coming to Vegas and coming to hang out with us at Circa on Friday night for the Heels Huddle Up. Sign up for that so that way we know you're coming.
Yeah, come party with us, man. We're going to have fun. We're going to
right.
have a blast.
And you get a free drink when you RSVP.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Go. They had
Circa
like
does
the
a great
Jag
job.
teal one that I didn't get to try it last year, but I think I'm going to try it. I was feeling pretty good by the time I already made it to the party last year.
It was your birthday.
It was my birthday.
Nice.
It was on my birthday last year. And Gators played at like noon, so it was a long day. And Notre Dame was in the playoff, so it was a lot a lot that day.
Florida
but it
was
was a
not
blast.
in the playoffs, shockingly. Florida beat Tulane in the bowl game.
It's next week. We're leaving.
is-
Right?
Yes.
A week from tomorrow.
Yes,
Yep.
Wow.
that is correct.
Yeah, how about
we
that?
will
Better
be there.
start packing,
I
Tommy.
can feel the pounding. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom.
It is quite loud in the casino area
Oh,
at
yeah.
Circa Resort and Casino, but
Hopefully I do better this time.
as far as which
Gambling,
game,
yeah.
The
Blackjack.
not the sports, the
Yeah, just
blackjack.
blackjack.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am not sure as of right now that the Jags are going to win your bet of winning the AFC South, but
I know. You never know.
you never know.
No, it's still
It's
early.
just
a lot
a
of
time
football
left.
left.
Oh, for sure. It just would be helpful if the Colts were 1-6 instead of 6-1
That's true.
at this point in time. All right, time now for Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
Tom thought this was his tangent, but Slash.
Take it away, Tommy. No, this is a little bit of a drag, but I think that when we're talking about what we feel like can be fixed this season, what's more realistic? Because we've talked about the penalties, we've talked about the drops, we've talked about the accuracy of Trevor Lawrence, we've talked about all of the things that haven't been going right offensively, and you've got to hope that some of these things start shaking out, and we can't keep saying that every single week, but some of the numbers to break it down of why we are seeing some of these offensive struggles. We'll start with the third down percentage. I've talked about it this season so far, but they're 29th worst in the NFL, converting only 32.9% of their third downs. In 2024, they were 21st, so it's gotten worse this season. The offensive red zone, they're 21st in the NFL, only scoring 50% of the time. Last year was 58%. They were 13th, so they've gotten worse. Trevor Lawrence, 25th in the NFL of QBR. His QBR is 25th in the NFL at 42.7. The only QBR ratings lower than him right now, Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, Tua, Jake Browning, Geno Smith, Justin Fields, Russ, and Ward. And just a side note for people, QBR does account for drops. So it divides plays into multiple things, and it does, if a drop happens by a wide receiver, it doesn't count that towards the quarterback. And obviously drops are all a little touchy anyways. You go to different sites and the drop number is different because it's kind of an eye test for a lot of those drops. But they do adjust the credit for specific plays if it is accounted as a drop. EPA, expected points added, he's 23rd in the NFL. So none of the numbers you want to see from Trevor Lawrence to start this. And then you do talk about drops, and drops are obviously a problem too. They have 21 drops this season. According to one source, like I said, you go to different places, it'll say different things, but that's first in the NFL. The next closest is the Browns, who have 18 drops. The Broncos behind that with 15, and the Commanders with 13. So pretty good amount ahead with those drops. And when you go specifically into that, Daniel Griffiths tweeted today, the Jaguars rank 32nd in the NFL at converting catchable targets into catches. Brian Thomas is 83rd of 83 wide receivers, catching just 64.3% of his catchable targets. So when we talk about BTJ needing to step up, that's what we're talking about too. Offensive penalties, they have 528 penalty yards, second in the NFL right now. Sacks, 20 sacks, tied 4th in the NFL, which sucks because 3 weeks ago you had the 3rd fewest sacks in the NFL. So in a couple weeks you drastically declined in that sack column, and that's not what you want to see. So, unfortunately, statistically, everything has declined from last year offensively, and you've got to. I don't think you fix all of those in a couple weeks, but you've got to start focusing on a couple of them. And maybe the sack we talked about last week, Lauren, you asked the question, which would you pick to fix immediately? And we both said offensive line, because I just think if you do that, I just think if you're fixing the offensive line, you could get the run game back and maybe give Trevor a little bit more time so we can make some of these plays happen that haven't been able to. But I don't know if you can fix all 8 of those things right now.
Yeah,
at this point.
I echo you on the offensive line. It's a run game. Get the run game going like it was going, at least to a certain degree, and that'll open things up for you. It'll make your quarterback play better. There's no doubt, and the offensive line will play better. So we got to get.
Defenses are going to stack the box if they don't think Trevor Lawrence can beat them through the air.
Yeah,
and
I tell you what, though, that's where Trevor has to take off and run more, because that'll loosen that thing up real quick. Because he can be a weapon in the open field when he wants to be.
All right, Taylor gave us depressing stats, so let's inspire people with free lunch.
Yes. Let's get free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. And let's say caller number 2, you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A today.
And there you have it. I promise I'll let you hear from Liam Coen when we return. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels from the Greenlaw Group Studios. Fall football keeps college campuses buzzing.
I'm RJ Saunders, and I'll help you slide into a college football Saturday with pregame news and notes.
On the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff.
Served up by Sonny's Barbecue.
Friday night at 6 on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Looking for a dealership that makes car buying easy? Let me tell you why Nimnick Buick GMC is the place to shop. At Nimnick, you'll find unbeatable prices, a huge selection of Buicks and GMCs, plus flexible financing that works around your budget. Whether it's a new SUV, a work-ready truck, or a certified pre-owned, they've got you covered. They back it up with trusted service and transparent deals. Don't wait. Shop 24/7 online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by
Morgan & Morgan.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. By now, y'all know I love Hello Smooth Med Spa. From laser hair removal to Botox, skin rejuvenation, and so much more. They are the go-to for all things skin health and beauty, and I'm so excited because their biggest event of the year is coming up on Wednesday, November 19th. The event features their best sales of the year, plus it's an all-day party. There will be a local coffee cart, a DJ, and lots of other local vendors. Plus, the event benefits Make-A-Wish. It's the perfect time to grab a gift for a loved one or treat yourself. So trust me, mark your calendars for November 19th. I'm so excited that I'll be there. Check out Hello Smooth Med Spa on social media or head to hellosmooth.com to get all the details.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WindoWorld wants you to do. WindoWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WindoWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WindoWorld can.
And with WindoWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WindoWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WindoWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WindoWorld, and to top it off, WindoWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WindoWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WindowWorld today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
WindoWorld, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
WindowWorld also offers energy-efficient doors.
Hey, Jaguar fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars this season. It's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. So grab a glass for the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with the generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here for Big Chief Tire. If you need new tires, Big Chief has affordable options to fit every budget and every vehicle. Their team of experts will help you find the right tires and make sure they're installed quickly so you can get back on the road. But don't wait. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment and explore their great tire deals. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rollin'.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by First Coast YMCA. Following the Miami Hurricanes' unexpected 24-21 home loss to Louisville last Friday night, the Canes have dropped to number 9 the AP poll this week. They'll get the chance to get one back against the Stanford Cardinals Saturday at 7. As for both the Florida Gators and Florida State Seminoles, they'll have this weekend off before taking the field again on November 1st. It's 82 degrees at 3:04. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Beautiful, sunny FLA. All right, before we hear from Liam Coen, I have a crazy stat that I saw Tom Pelissero post earlier today. So 49ers left tackle Trent Williams, up until yesterday, was the only 2010 NFL draft pick on a roster.
Wow.
But now Brandon Graham decided he doesn't want to stay in retirement. He's going to rejoin the Eagles. So now there's 2 players from the 2010 NFL draft that are playing this season. Here are some other names from that 2010 NFL draft.
Oh, my goodness.
Sam Bradford, Tim Tebow, Ndamukong Suh, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Jimmy Graham, and Dez Bryant.
Wow.
It feels like Sam Bradford has not been in the NFL. And certainly Tim Tebow's had a whole lifetime since then, it feels like. But yeah, I just found that absolutely crazy.
Sam's the last $50 million signing bonus. Remember, they changed
they had to change it all because of Sam Bradford. And I'm glad they did change it.
Giving him 50 right off the bat.
Right, they need to earn it.
It's wild the time, like when you talk about certain college players and how long they've been in the NFL. And I heard Primetime talking about this earlier because Demario Douglas obviously is with the Patriots right now, and he played with Carson Beck at Mandarin, and he's been in the league in the NFL for a couple years now, and Carson Beck's playing in Miami still. It's just wild when you see like the differences of now, especially college, because some of these guys are in there for a long time. It's just wild to think of that. Like we're watching him catch touchdown passes with Drake May right now, and we're watching Carson Beck throw 4 picks last weekend.
How about Brandon Graham? Yeah, just gonna.
He's like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Hey, you feel like pass rushing? Sure. No camp, no nothing, right? I'll just come in.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
you make sure the team's probably going to make the postseason.
Right.
The Eagles certainly.
He's a good player. He's always been a great player. He can really get to the QB. And has done for many, many years.
And they just had a player, I'm blanking on his name, but the Eagles just had a player retire less than 2 weeks ago. That was their leading pass rusher.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
I do, yeah. He's, what the heck's his name? He abruptly...
All my searches are going to come up with Brandon Graham because he's coming out of retirement.
Obviously.
I'll look for it in a second.
We'll look it up. But yeah, no, I remember seeing that. It was kind of odd that he
We have
He chose to-
retirement.
Zadarius, but did he end up signing
Oh,
with them?
Zadarius Smith did, yeah.
Because I thought he was a free agent, but I don't remember if he had signed with somebody.
He did sign. Yeah, he was a guy I wanted us to go after. You know, get us a, off the bench kind of guy. We think we have that in Emmanuel Ogbah, but we need some more out of Emmanuel Ogbah.
Which, by the way, Lauren, somebody on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures had your idea that you also mentioned in our group chat this last weekend, and they said, do what Vanderbilt does. Strong side guard and tackles move from one side to the next based on play calls.
Right.
Yeah, I meant to bring that up on yesterday's show, but we had so much, obviously, to get to with Napier being fired and stuff, too. But, yeah, I found that fascinating that Vanderbilt, but I feel like the defense at some point is going to pick up on what you're going to run.
Yeah.
Because if you have
You
right?
know what their strengths are, so you're like, oh,
Like
this is better run blocker, pass
here's
protect,
the strong
whatever.
left tackle and left guard, well, not left, sorry. Strong tackle, strong guard, and then quick tackle, quick guard, and then they switch sides based off of the play.
Right.
So I feel like,
smart defenses are going to be like, wait.
knows, okay, if the 340-pound guard, that's obviously the strong guard, if he's moving sides, then that's the side they're going to run the football to. But either way, it's obviously working for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's having an amazing season, and Diego Pavia is in the mix for the Heisman. All right, let's hear from Liam Coen. He met with media yesterday. I promised you were going to hear from him. All right, he was asked, of course, about all the penalty problems.
There's a bunch on it. There's some controllables, some non-controllables. There's some bad luck. Look, until we clean up our football, guys, it's just it's going to be hard. And so that's the message and the amount of detail. All I know is how to fix this is to pour into the fundamentals and the details and the basics, because it's not like, oh, we made up some new annexation of Puerto Rico play and we got a penalty on it. It's like we're playing half field and there's a 7 cut and we hit them before the ball gets there. Like, we can control that. So the ones we can control by coaching and practicing and playing, like, that's on us, and we have to control those.
Little Giants is one of my favorite sports movies when I was younger, and the annexation of Puerto Rico obviously featured in that movie. And so I love that movie reference. But yeah, I mean,
that's Wingard being late on the 7 route is what he's talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, all the
early,
penalties. Even go back to week 1 with all the illegal shifts and everything.
Yeah.
Like, even this game, Parker Washington, telling the ref that he's lined up correctly, but he's not.
Well, and that's
Travis
what
Hunter's penalty from the week before.
And that's what earlier when I was talking about that too, where I was just how predictable are things coming or becoming, and you don't want that to happen. But also I'm wondering how much defenses are watching the film in the first few weeks and be like, they can't line up in time, they get down to a second all the time, or getting delays of games, and then when they line up they're not lined up properly. So let's take advantage of those things. And the more that's on film, the more teams are going to be able to use those to their advantage. And you don't want that to happen. And that's what you don't want them to happen anyways. But especially later, deep into the season, when those things should be the basic fundamentals of what you've got figured out. But he's not wrong when he says there's controllables and uncontrollables. And some of them you can't fix, but fix the things you can't control at this point in time.
I mean, look, it comes down to the players. Last year, everyone wanted to blame it's the coaches. It's the coach. And I would be like, listen, the coaches can only do so much. These are grown men out there doing a job. And obviously, they're not focused all the way, or they wouldn't be making these kind of mistakes. Like, it's not like, they're learning some kind of, science experiment that you got to cheat on, in high school. But it's football, but they're not doing their job. I don't get that. I know a lot of people last year, gosh, they were so mad that, no, it's not the players, it's the coaches. They're not. So what is it now? Is it the coaches now, or is it the players? Whose fault is it right now that they keep making these mistakes, these penalties at critical times, these, missed assignments? Who is it? Because I know the rhetoric, it only fit the narrative because Doug sucks, Doug can't coach, Doug's terrible, let's blame it all on Doug. But at the end of the day, part of it is on Doug, no doubt. But the players got to play. They got to make the plays. I mean, if you're Campanelli and I bring 6, but none of you win your one-on-one matchup, whose fault is it? It's your fault. You're not. I can't. What do you want me to do?
Make the block for you.
Right. I can't. I can't get you to beat the block. You have to beat the block. When he calls, all out blitz, and I need my press corner to press, and he doesn't, and he's out of here, obviously. But how do you win like that? You know, it's the same
The ball
thing
goes
for
through your hands.
It's just all, yeah, same thing for Liam.
What is these?
Or the quarterback's way off, or the running game, or we get a great play and my guy's lined up off sides, or there's a holding, or whatever. That is so frustrating for coaches because they can't control that. He says control the uncontrollables. They can't control players playing. They're the ones that have to do it.
Right. And by the way, teams can win even if a quarterback doesn't have the best game, and maybe not win that game, but they can have winning seasons.
Yeah.
Like Baker Mayfield and the Bucs didn't have a great game last night, right? Like sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes it happens, but the Bucs are still a good football team, and so you can put all the blame on one person and Trevor Lawrence, but I don't think when everything you detailed in your tangent, Taylor, everything Tom just went through, like that's not on one person. That's on all of the 11 starters on both sides of the football, and that's I think the most frustrating thing is Trevor's not playing so poorly to this point. Yeah, he had a bad game on Sunday for sure, but he's not playing so poorly every single week that's why this team is losing. They're losing because all of them at times are playing poorly.
They all play a role, including the QB, right?
Right.
I mean,
and
he's
the coaches
part of
have
the
to dial up
problem.
too.
The coaches, they're in it too. I mean, some of those play calls, some of the game plan is the strategy didn't work.
Right. Can you, by the way, watch what McVay did last week?
Yeah.
On Sunday. Can you watch what Clinton Kubiak did the week before and see how they were able to get the ball out quickly and have some easy plays for their quarterbacks and get that offense into a flow early on? Oh, by the way, defensive players, can you watch what those pass rushers are doing and those interior defensive linemen? You can learn from them. Brian Thomas Jr., look what Devontae Adams can do. Goes up and catches the football in the end zone. You can learn. And by the way, you can play
one thing I have a problem with Brian Thomas is not just the drops, but he doesn't come off the line of scrimmage, it seems, with any kind of sense of urgency. And I know Jimmy Smith online, I think Brian Thomas blocked him or something, but Jimmy's like, man, you got to get in your stance and fire off that ball. And he kind of lollygags a little bit. Now, I don't know if that's just because he's a long strider, he's not the quick twitch, feet kind of guy. But I'd like to see him a little bit more sense, and I'd like to see the coaches get on his ass for that. Come on, man, get into your route. You're part of the timing. It's not just the line and the quarterback hitting his fifth step. You're part of the timing, so get off the line. I'll tell you, if you want to watch a great job by Devontae Adams, what he did to, I think it was Jordan Lewis at the line on his last touchdown. He knocked those hands down. Did you see that? He tried to press him, and Devontae just whapped his hands down and got right in his route, and boom, there was the score. The perfect throw. But talk about getting off press with some violence. That's some sense of urgency, getting into your route. So that's part of it. They got to get on, Brian Thomas about doing that. And maybe that'll make things a little bit better because if he's slow getting off, then the timing is going to be off.
Yeah.
Well, and if you watched him sometimes, BTJ, if he's not involved in the play, he certainly doesn't look all that interested. And
he blocks though. He'll block.
Does,
he will block. I gotta give him credit on that. But on the pass play, I see it. Yeah, he falters off.
If the ball's not going to him and if it's not on his side, he doesn't look all that interested. All right, one more from Liam Coen. On the other side, talking about Travis Hunter. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Protected by
Green Law Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
Game day doesn't end after the game. It's not complete without the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter with hacker Leon and Coach Gerald Ingram. Flavored by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Apex Roofing and Contracting on 1010XL.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosser here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey guys, Taylor Doll here of Helmets and Heels. It's a sauce kind of football season with Chick-fil-A chicken strips. Each crispy, juicy bite only gets better when you choose your favorite sauces to dip into and create your own flavor combinations. Will it be sriracha and ranch, honey and buffalo, barbecue, and Chick-fil-A sauce with 21 different sauce pairings possible? It's easy to go on a flavor adventure. Order in a 4-count, 10-count, or in a catering tray. Get an order started today with the Chick-fil-A app and dip on in.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Northeast Florida Auto, Power Sports, and RV dealers. Tom McMahon is here for Dealer Connect. The nation's #1 AI conference for dealers is coming to Jacksonville October 29th and 30th at the Marriott Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach. It's 2 days of tackling the future of AI in automotive with some of the industry's biggest names. Keynote speaker, Hall of Famer Joe Theismann will autograph items to benefit the Tom Coughlin J Fund. Get tickets now at DealerConnect2025.com. That's DealerConnect2025.com.
Your favorite band live, first chord hits. That's a thrill. But for the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah, what thrill beats them all?
It's the thrill of the win. But I've been there when the worry is real, when the bills pile up, when the pain doesn't quit, and getting the call that says, "We came through for you." That's huge. It's about seeing that weight lift, helping folks walk out better than when they walked in. Yeah, we're built for that.
Call Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
XL Prime Time is back where they belong.
Wait a minute, I know where that is.
Lunch is on Joe C., Matt Hayes, and Leon.
You could lay a little barbecue on us?
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
But somebody else is going to have to cook it.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Celebrating 30 years in Jax Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Problems with this Jaguars roster. One bright spot would be the #2 overall pick, Travis Hunter, whether he's playing on offense or on defense. So Liam Coen was asked yesterday, will they update the plan for number 12?
That is absolutely going to be a part of the conversation this evening with both sides of the football. I thought that there was some definite flashes yesterday in terms of on offense specifically. He had a great pass breakup as well on defense, and we are going to play the best 11 as much as humanly possible after this bye. Like we've kind of gotten a sample size, as you mentioned, a sample size of everything, the totality of the first 7 weeks of every position, but specifically with him. There was definitely some really good things the other night, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. There's still a lot of things that need to be cleaned up and corrected. And then we've got to just make sure we're playing the best guys at all times and see what that looks like. So that will 100% be a part of this evaluation and conversation over the next few days here.
Well, Travis Hunter's the best corner, right? So we're going to see him more at corner. Again, I hope they can really utilize him in the way he's really great. And I think it's press. And if you can get him to really press their number one or number two receiver and control that timing, and then you get the rush, now you're talking. But if he's talking about having the best 11 out there on defense, there's no way that number 12 isn't one of the best 11.
On both sides.
Yeah. On both sides, yeah.
He might be the best receiver right now, and Parker Washington certainly is pulling in his fair share of catches. But we obviously, like we just talked about with Brian Thomas Jr., it hasn't translated from year one when he was one of the best rookie receivers we've ever seen to now year two. And whether that's the lack of chemistry with he and Trevor Lawrence, or whether it's he doesn't love the scheme, or whether it's he's afraid and alligator arms some balls, like it's all of those things obviously are issues. But Travis Hunter needs to be on the field as much as humanly possible, and I'm hoping that that's one of the things that they are looking at, like Liam just said, that they are going to take extra time now, because Travis Hunter wants to be out there as much as humanly possible.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Like, this kid doesn't get tired, and this is a comment that I probably shouldn't make because I'm not in the locker room, but I feel like he loves football more than anyone else on this team.
Yeah, it looks like it. It feels like it. I mean, every time they show him, he's has this huge smile on his face, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday with the touchdown. He wasn't like overly, because they're getting embarrassed at that point, but you still look at him and you could tell he's trying to bring an may even when other players may have looked a little pouty at certain moments during that game in London. And I'm going to share this on my page, but Justin Mello, he works for the Draft Network. We've had him on our show previously. He just wrote an article, and it's titled, "Have Jaguars Finally Figured Out How to Use Travis Hunter?" And so he goes into a lot of detail of both sides of the ball, but a couple interesting tidbits out of this. He talks about Liam Coen's willingness to move Hunter around the offensive formation. So they said Hunter played 41% of his receiving snaps on the boundary and 59% in the slot. So you're seeing him multiple ways in that. He created an average separation distance of 3.6 yards on his targets, according to Next Gen Stats, which is considered wide open by tight window NFL standards. And they said, in fact, no other Jaguar receiver created more than 2.94 yards of separation per target, and that was Johnny Munt. So that, I mean, you're looking at a lot of positive things when it comes to Travis Hunter. And if you want to go read this article, he talks about both sides of the ball. But I do think that is such a bright spot, because this has been something, and we always said it would take some time for them to figure out really how to do it, because it hasn't been done. When you talk about how much he can play on defense and offense, and our defense is just going to try and wear him, or offense is going to try and wear him down on defense, whatever. It seems like so far put him out there because he's making plays on both sides of the ball when he is. And so I think it's still going to be week to week different. So we can ask this question every week. Are you going to evaluate more how to use Travis Hunter? Every week they're going to have to talk about how to use Travis Hunter and what is going to benefit them the most against that next opponent.
My only question coming in with him was physically, can he handle it? And he's shown he can. I mean, he really impressed me, even early on in the season, like getting up in the wide receiver and handling them one-on-one, and he does it throughout the week. I mean, he still gets beat, but guys get beat. Yeah. But overall, I mean, he's really shown that he can clamp down that receiver pretty well. And look, on offense, you just got to keep feeding him the football. You got to keep getting him opportunities. I'm glad they connected on that 1-7 route for the touchdown. There was one throw near the sideline. It was way high and outside, and you could tell Travis was just pretty frustrated. He was open. He wanted the ball to be down and right in his pocket, and it wasn't. But they made up for it because that was a really good throw. And I mentioned it yesterday. I like the fact that he celebrated, but not like his first ever touchdown in his NFL career. Right, this big draft pick finally makes it into the end zone, and he's not doing backflips and doing some kind of dance or spinning the ball. No, he grabbed the ball, he gave it to the equipment manager, accepted congratulations, and then that was it. And you're like, that's the kind of guy you want on your football team right there. That's nothing wrong with celebrating, don't get me wrong. But the way you're getting your butts kicked, he did the right thing. That's a classy move, and that's the kind of guy you want on your team.
Yeah, and he probably feels like he should have had certainly touchdowns before this.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
But
I think so.
They didn't go, or that hasn't gone according to plan. Look, he's tough too, like knock on wood, but he's been healthy, and he certainly has played, I would say, a role that to Taylor's point, we haven't seen played in the NFL in over 20 years, right? Like
more than that.
Yeah,
well, I guess, Dion.
Yeah, but he did more special teams and defense and Travis, which I feel like you can get hurt certainly on special teams. But he feels like the guy, personality-wise, like why they gave up draft capital to get him. And to fans' frustration, they haven't let that personality shine with more snaps. We understand weeks 1 and 2, you don't want to overload them, but after that, and especially when you're facing a team like the Rams with a passing attack that's lethal. All right, Ted, let's switch from the NFL to college football. Time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane, driven by Mazda at the Avenues. This is luxury. This is Mazda at the Avenues.
All right, some college football players that we are not talking enough about. Taylor's been negative today on the Jaguars, understandably so. So let's give her something positive.
Yes.
Jeremiah Love. People are not talking enough about Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love's incredible. And honestly, both running backs at Notre Dame, Jadarian Price too, they're insane. They both do incredible things every single game. But some of the stuff that it's unfortunate almost, because I think Jeremiah Love's going to go in the top 10, I think, next year. And I really want Jeremiah Love, but I also don't want the teams that I cheer for to be picking in the top 10 next year. But yeah, this last game, he did
28 yards.
He did whatever he wanted against the USC defense, and they tried multiple things to try and stop him, and it just didn't work. But it's a thing going back to last year even, and he was banged up in the playoffs. He was hurt and was practically playing on one leg.
He was going to play.
Yeah, every game it was kind of like, is he going to be ready to go? And he still looked good there. I think that you didn't see a whole lot of him against, I want to say it was the Penn State game where you didn't see a ton, but other than that, I mean, he's so much fun. And he can do everything, too. That's the one thing about him. He'll run people over. He'll be that bulldozer type of running back, but then he'll also go and catch some passes if you need him to and do the perimeter stuff. He does all of it. He hurdles. He's in track, so you'll see him hurdle guys a lot. It stresses me out a little bit sometimes because you'll see the tackle, like the DB coming in from the side, and I'm like, one wrong hit like that when he's up in the air, and it gets a little scary. But yeah, he's so fun.
Do those guys, do they ever get hit in the nuts, when they're jumping over? Because they always seem to get hit right in the joints. I mean, maybe a defender should just jump up or something, and they go, and then they'll stop hurdling. But they always seem to, time it up perfect over people. But that kid's unbelievable, man.
You better time it up perfectly.
He can do it all. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. They could cause some problems. But he is something special. And fun to watch. Even for a guy that doesn't like Notre Dame, he's a fun dude to watch.
CJ Carr, up until this game, too, I would say people aren't talking enough about him. He didn't have a great game, but, in as far as what people were expecting, or really not sure what to expect from CJ Carr, I think his season's gone pretty well. I'll say Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed. With what obviously A&M's been able to do to this point in the season, and then at LSU this Saturday night, it's going to be an electric environment in Baton Rouge, even though LSU's offense has struggled mightily all season long.
I think they're going to lose by 25.
I'm glad you said that, because I've been wondering which games that we should pick on Friday, and Tumbleson isn't because he's off, but if all three of us are going to pick A&M, then we're not going to pick that game. But look, Marcel Reed, dual threat guy, and I feel like fits Mike Elko, what Mike Elko wants to do perfectly.
Yeah. No, he's exciting, too. I'll go back to Chambliss. I like watching him play as well for Ole Miss. He's a nice quarterback and can run and throw. But, look, you guys in the SEC got quite the talent, that's for sure. Across the board, it feels like it each and every year. And we're going to see what it comes down to. There's a lot of football left to be played in the college ranks as well, and how it's all going to shake down. I guess, is Love the leader in the Heisman? Would he be the leader? Who's
I don't
the leader
think so.
In the Heisman right
they
now?
have. I just saw a recent. I don't know the official odds. I saw one of the
Ty
rankings
Simpson,
from. Ty Simpson's
Alabama
probably at the top.
Is one.
Really?
Carson Beck dropped big time after this last game.
Fernando Mendoza,
I did
the
see,
Indiana quarterback, is too.
Yeah, of course,
And then Julian Sayin, the Ohio State quarterback, is in there as well.
Just saying.
Yeah. Just saying. Diego Pavia now is certainly
getting talked about.
Yeah, getting talked about. I always feel like Haynes King should be talked about as well. But that means I've just all mentioned quarterbacks only, and certainly Jeremiah Love, Jeremiah Smith, the Ohio State wide receiver, so should certainly be mentioned. And then a guy who certainly also has a path to be mentioned and probably isn't talked about enough. He is around these parts, but Gunnar Stockton, with what the Georgia quarterback's been able to do, throwing 5 touchdowns against Ole Miss in an electric environment, obviously there in Sanford Stadium. But I feel like everyone wanted to kind of laugh at Gunnar Stockton when the season first started because of the way he looks, and he's not the most dynamic quarterback, and yet look at what he's been able to do with Georgia.
He runs like a fullback.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's a good runner.
Pretty impressive what he did against Ole Miss, and he can whip it around too. Yeah, he's had a good year so far.
Yeah, and I think that it helps him a little bit. He got the experience last year in some big moments, obviously, in the college football playoff. And I think that helps. It probably didn't look the way he did like you wanted it to in the moment of the college football playoff, but he actually looked pretty decent even in that game. I was impressed to the point where I was like, I kind of hope he plays and Carson doesn't. That's where I was, because I think you can force some mistakes out of Carson like you've seen, and I wasn't sure. Like Gunner seems a little more careful, and his decision making seems a little bit better at times. So yeah, props to them. Georgia, just keep going.
Well, and Mike Bobo, people wanted him fired, the offensive coordinator there at Georgia.
Oh, right, right.
And other than, obviously the loss to Alabama, Georgia's in a really good position. All right.
I wish we could do an offensive lineman, by the way.
Oh,
it'd be fun to put Proctor in there.
Yeah,
let's
make him
a Heisman. Let's get our offensive lineman some love.
So I love watching College Game Day, SEC Nation, those shows before college football kicks off on Saturdays, and I watched the special. I forget who was interviewing him, probably Marty Smith, interviewing Caden Proctor, and he was like, "All right, so what's this play called when Caden Proctor gets the ball and runs it?"
Smash people.
It was called Crispy, and he's like, "Why Crispy?"
Oh.
Well,
Krispy Kreme donuts if he makes a touchdown.
I love that.
Caden Proctor used to have an issue, and he was like 380 pounds because he ate too many Krispy Kreme donuts.
So
he since has slimmed down to like 340 somewhere in there, because maybe it was 320, but I think it's 340.
Yeah,
because that's what he heard from NFL scouts, is that he weighed a little bit too much. So now he's a slim and trim 340, and he is definitely going to be picked high.
Oh, he's athletic.
Yeah. He's very athletic, just like Penei Sewell is.
That Sewell vibe.
Yeah.
By the way, very random, but I did not know Penei Sewell has 3 children. He's only 25 years old. Not that that's too young, but I just learned that over the weekend that he has 3 kids.
Honestly, didn't know that either.
That's this guy.
Their story is really cool, though. I actually did a podcast with their dad a couple weeks ago. Noah Sewell's on the Bears, and his dad told the whole story of them coming from Hawaii to the mainland. They moved to Utah, and I was like, "Why Utah?" And he was like, pretty much, he just said they didn't want to be too culture shocked. They were from a tiny town, and they didn't want to move to LA or Chicago or something like that. Even though there were a lot of not good school, like even high schools at that time, wanting them to come play for them. But he was like, it was already going to be a culture shock, and we didn't want it to be this full on, here's a big city from our tiny little town where there's 80 people or whatever. That's probably an exaggeration, but very tiny.
Samoan American?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Samoans are massively
they're huge,
physical,
and all of them. He has
really
4 kids, and
all
of them, 3 played in the NFL. Obviously, Penei and Noah. And then he had another son that played for the Saints, and then they had another kid that's in college still right now too. And so they definitely, they're all athletes, and they all play also different positions. There's a linebacker, a defensive end, an offensive lineman. Noah Sewell played quarterback in high school, so it's a really cool story. But
yes, born an American Samoa.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, they're special athletes, man.
Yeah, and I feel like BYU always has a steady population of Polynesian players. I don't know why there's that connection, but yeah. All right, more to do on the other side. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You are listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Offense, defense, and special teams all contribute.
We got ourselves a roster.
After the game, pump up the Superior Plumbing Special Teams Player of the Game.
They got to match eye attention.
On 1010XL.
October means Brakes for Breast at Expert Automotive, who's teamed up with TechNet so you can get or give $40 and help us put the brakes on breast cancer. The entire month of October, schedule a brake job at Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff, and Expert will match TechNet's $40 give or get, giving $80 back to you or Brakes for Breast to put the brakes on breast cancer. Book online at expertautojacks.com. Visit us at St. John's Bluff or call 374-3373. Help Expert Automotive put the brakes on breast cancer.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents, and they'll keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule your free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
It's holiday season and it's not too late to find the perfect spot to celebrate with your team. Fourscore is a place that brings the energy, where great food, craft drinks, and unreal vibes meet cutting-edge full-swing simulators. Don't play golf? Do not worry. With over 40 interactive games, Fourscore has something that everyone will enjoy. Perfect for company outings, birthdays, and even private events that go beyond the ordinary. With locations in historic San Marco and centrally located Gate Parkway, Fourscore is ready to make your next celebration unforgettable. Hit the easy button and book your event today at fourscoregolf.com.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday, backed by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, you talk a lot about a diamond's cut grade. Why is a diamond graded for cut?
Frank, that's simple. We cut grade diamonds to show a measurement of beauty and light return to the person looking at the diamond so they can understand the value difference between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one cut for maximum weight. Now, it gets a little more complicated when you find out that the American Gem Society Laboratory actually assigns performance grades and proportion grades using patented computer software and grades for polish and symmetry using a microscope. The end result of cut grading is a final grade that can go from a 0 or ideal to a 10, which is poor. Each of these grades are priced a little differently. That's why you can see a diamond with a fine color and clarity priced low, particularly on the internet, because a trained gemologist won't buy it for resale because of the poor cut. Unfortunately, these type deals aren't good deals. They're bad deals for the unknowing customer.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations, we do it all. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Hey, 1010XL fans, it's game time, but don't get sidelined from the fun. The JTA Game Day Express is the smartest way to get to the bank on time. It's all sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. There are 5 convenient pickup locations across the River City, but remember, Game Day Express is cashless. All passes must be purchased through the MyJTA mobile app. Get your $10 pass today. For all of your game day needs, go to myjtafla.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
So we got some juicy quotes from Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets. First of all, I know the drill played it a million times, but that poor Jets kid, the fan, and I feel that sadness. I understand this. I felt it to my core, that video. He was just like, I hate this team so much. He was like, I'll be a fan. I was born into it. I'll always root for the Jets, but this is awful. I get that.
I appreciate, by the way, people who stick by their franchises that are losing or their college football programs are losing or what have you. Like the true fans. And look, you can be a fair weather fan all you want. I'm not blaming you if you are. Yeah. But I always appreciate the people who just slog through the
all
years
the sadness.
Of losing. Yeah. Right, because those seasons when your team does win, it is incredibly special.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I heard them talking about on one of the shows this morning, Good Morning Football or something. And one of the guys was like, you don't have to. Like, you can leave. You can pick a different team. And I'm like, that's the sissy way out of things. Right. Like, and also it's not that easy because if you really are a true fan, then you were born into that. And your whole childhood is all of the memories of that team. And usually it's like grandpas and uncles and brothers and sisters, and it's all a thing. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to go cheer for this team because they're good. It doesn't work that way. But Woody Johnson, he says, if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results across the league. You have to play consistently at that position, and that's what we're going to try and do. So clearly a little bit of a shot at Justin Fields there, and giving a little bit of, a lot of people already were like, oh, Aaron Glenn's only going to make it a year, and I think this is his way of being like, let's pump the brakes on that a little bit.
Well, look, I would have thought that they'd get off this terrible start. I thought Fields was going to be okay. I mean, their defense had been good from last year. Their O-line's not bad. Breece Hall's a good running back. You know, I don't know. Wilson, are they all healthy? Have they had injury problems? Obviously, if you don't have the QB, we talk about it here. You got to have that consistency from the QB. But I don't like the owner saying that publicly. Like, that's just, he's still your quarterback on your team. Maybe after you get rid of him.
He just watched a 13-6 victory by the Panthers over the Jets. Your team, we know this, when your team only scores 6 points, it's so frustrating. You watch. That's too much football. That's 60 minutes of football. They watched just 6 points, and the week before that they scored 11. It's rough. They've scored 10.
He had negative yardage that one game.
Yeah, the net yards.
He been under duress, and it's just been an.
That's all. But Tyrod Taylor, by the way, played against the Panthers.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Justin. He also Tyrod Taylor played. Justin had a concussion this year already. That's a poor Justin Fields because he's never been on a team that's able to protect him. He's been sacked. I think I read the stat in the beginning of the season. It was already 144 times. So now that's even higher at this point. And he's had rib injuries, shoulders injuries, wrist injuries. He's had concussions. This guy's been beaten to death in his time in the NFL.
Yeah. It just shows you. He was excellent in college.
Yeah.
He was awesome. You thought he was going to transition in the NFL. It just shows you how hard it is in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position. There's just so much going on. Look, you hear all the stories in college. Oh, we just divide the field in half. We tell them to go deep to short. Throw it if it's open. If it's not open, take off and run. Like, it's simple kind of stuff. And the holes in zones are massive. Guys are wide open if you got a better receiver. Yeah. And then you get into the NFL and everything shrinks. And this disguise and this over here. And then I'm getting the crap kicked out of me. I don't know what to do. And they do. They get lost. They get rattled. That's why it's one of the toughest jobs in all of professional sports.
It is. But I also wonder when the NFL QB talent evaluators are doing it, why they don't at least take chances and grade some of the guys that are at least really successful in college, even if they don't look like a prototypical NFL quarterback. Like we just talked about, Diego Pavia, Haynes King, like guys like that they just know how to play the game. Like, I feel like sometimes those guys at least deserve a chance in the NFL, even if they're not 6'2" with a rocket arm.
I feel what you're saying.
They have that good football IQ. They know where to go with the football, and they weren't always the most talented player on the field, and that's what I think sometimes does happen is Justin Fields was the most talented player, and he had the most talented players around him at Ohio State. And Trevor did at Clemson too, right? Like, he had some of the best players, certainly when they were going up against ACC foes. All right, we've got one segment to go. I'll give you today's Terminix Pest of the Day. On the other side, it's 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Welcome to the bundle event. Entering now our undisputed tag team champions, the mid-size SUV and the mid-century modern. Together with a State Farm agent, this auto and home duo are a powerful force of savings, service, and customizable coverage. Now, let's get ready to bundle.
Call State Farm agent Ron McCann in Orange Park at 904-269-1313.
Availability and amount of discounts and savings vary by state.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. Hey, Jaguars fans, Crown Royal is a proud partner of our Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're watching or whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. So grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with the generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Poker players, the World Poker Tour is back at Best Bet Jacksonville, October 30th to November 18th, and the guarantees are massive. Event 1 brings a $200,000 guarantee. Event 6 has a $300,000 guarantee, and the main event has an enormous $1 million guarantee. With 14 tournaments, your chances of winning big have never been better. Want in on the action? WPT satellites are already playing out. Don't get left out. Head to bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday is
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? During our fall savings month, get 20% off your replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, or 0 interest for 12 months. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida homes, designed to help you save on energy bills by maintaining indoor temperatures year-round. Offer ends October 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296. Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429. Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Football season is all about hanging at home and watching the big ball games. Well, if your AC and heating unit is letting you down and keeping those electric bills sky high, think about getting a new energy-efficient AC unit from Florida Home AC. They've got great deals on replacements plus rebates and incentives to make it more affordable. Call Florida Home AC at 777-4300 and get their expert staff to take a look. Football season is all about fun and playing for the win. Make sure you have the winning team on your side with Florida Home AC.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier.
Today's pest of the day is one that involves the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As always, brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's Terminix. They take care of Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. And they do a fantastic job at our house. They just came last week, took care of some small ants, and making sure we still don't have mosquitoes in the front or the backyard. Mike Evans, his 11-year streak of 1,000-yard seasons is most likely going to come to an end with that broken collarbone. And so the broken collarbone is the pest of the day. He is an obvious, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Fame receiver, and certainly a guy that I know when he was a free agent, what was that, 2 years ago, I was just wishing and hoping, praying that he would become a Jacksonville Jaguar. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen. He's going to finish his career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But certainly Baker Mayfield loses a huge weapon. Yeah. He's been through this before, so he'll probably figure it out. But that broken collarbone and the fact that his streak won't continue just really irks me.
Yeah, he's been hurt too. I think he missed 3 games prior to returning last night, right? And you saw Baker's face. He looked awful. He's just like, oh no. Like that's really, really bad. I didn't know what it was because you couldn't figure it out. And when they were walking him off the field, he's closing it. I'm like, is he going to pass out? Like, is there something going on with his heart or something? And it was crazy, but obviously that pain of the collarbone made you come down on that field.
And I know certain ones
they got to break or come through your skin or something. I don't know. If you land on them, something's going to happen. Yeah. But that's too bad because he is one of the greatest at that position, and man, he's always a threat. There's no doubt.
Yeah, 11 straight years with over 1,000 yards. It's just incredible. And when you even go back last year, he missed 3 games, and you're in year 11 of your NFL career missing 3 games, and you still have over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. And then obviously the year before he was healthy, played all those 17 and had 13 touchdowns and 12.55. He's just that guy. He's been so reliable, no matter who was throwing the quarterback. Even the years it was Jameis Winston and Tampa, you were seeing those two have the connection. It never mattered. It was never like, oh, he needs this quarterback. It was whoever's throwing the ball to Mike Evans, he's going to make things happen. And yeah, that's a bummer that streak is going to end, especially in that way.
Speaking of receivers, the Titans parted ways with Tyler Lockett. He asked for a release. They granted it yesterday. I feel like this receiving core could use a veteran like a Tyler Lockett. One of his best seasons, over 1,100 yards. That was in 2021 with the Seahawks. He had 8 touchdowns that year, but he's had a career high of 10 touchdowns in a season twice, obviously both with the Seahawks. I feel like this receiving core could use someone like that.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd think De'Ami Brown was going to be that guy, that free agent we grabbed. He's been okay, but he's had.
And he doesn't have
issues.
as many years under his belt, obviously.
No, I see what you're saying. Could a veteran come in and straighten out the room a little bit?
Yes, please. That's what I'm advocating.
Look, Edgar Bennett's a great guy. He's a great coach. He'll get these guys together. I mean, look, I think Parker Washington's earned more reps, and you got to get Travis Hunter the ball more, and then hopefully Brian Thomas just, it'll get better. It's got to get better. He's a first-round pick. I mean, I think we forget how important that is for him to be a really good player for this team. I mean, it's not like he was some guy they grabbed off the street or some 7th round. Like, we're counting on him to be this number 1 alpha dog receiver. So hopefully he can find his a little spark, and him and Trevor can get on the same page and they all can get going. But right now it's Parker Washington, it's Travis Hunter as far as I'm concerned.
Shane Waldron was with Tyler Lockett for those 3 years in Seattle when he was OC, so maybe he's like,
he certainly knows, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say hello to a guy who always has a spark.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Did you and Ryan O'Halloran fix the Jaguars yesterday?
We did our best. Luckily, we've got 4 more days to piece it all together.
You need the time.
Yeah, it's like every time you plug a hole in the dam, another leak springs. But yeah, we'll certainly continue to break down our evaluation of the Jaguars in the bye week and steps they need to take. Ryan brought up a great point yesterday. If you lose to Vegas, do you become sellers and not buyers? Which is
I would think so.
Which is something you have to. We've always considered that they're going to make a move,
sure.
And I still think that's way more likely than selling. But if you lose to the Raiders, it's starting to evaporate pretty quickly. So do you want to trade away assets to try and improve the team at that point? So we'll see. It's they're at a crossroads in their season, and the Vegas game is obviously going to be incredibly important. So we'll get into all that as well. We'll talk about the Florida search. We'll talk a little bit about Florida State. If you're a Florida State rival, are you kind of now hoping that they get hot and maybe get it to 7-5 to where maybe Norvell comes back in 26, or are you just enjoying the collapse so much you just hope it continues? So lots of fun stuff coming up on the Frangie Show with Ryan O'Halloran sitting in for us. And one other thing we are going to be doing in our second segment that should be fun, the 3 of us, JJ, myself, and O'Halloran, we're going to have an open quarterback draft.
Okay.
So every NFL quarterback is on the table. You're starting your franchise from scratch. Who are you taking?
I love it.
It should be a lot of fun.
So now we have to figure out where Trevor Lawrence goes.
I never thought about how if that could be a subtle topic that comes out of that, but it should be a lot of fun.
Thanks, Hayes. We appreciate it. All right.
So 3 guys picking. So I'm thinking 9th round for Trevor.
All right.
Maybe 8th.
Listen and find out. Tom, you have the next 3 days off. Enjoy it.
I do. Thank you. Going to stick around. Going to be at home and take care of things at home. But yeah, looking forward to chilling out for a little bit and taking my bye week before you make me go out to Vegas.
Well,
we made you.
If you figure out the solution to the Jags while you're on your vacation, let us know.
I'll do it in my takeaway. I'll send it in on Friday, all right?
Extra buys during the bye week?
I did some today, so they're feeling pretty good. So
there we go.
Good. Definitely going to work on the body.
There we go. That'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is coming up next.
Walk all over you. Yeah.
Helmets and heels.
From the Greenlaw Group Studios.
Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design has almost 1,800 5-star Google reviews, and I certainly know why. Our designer, Doug, knew exactly how to improve our 3 small closets, and the install only took a few hours. Goodbye clutter, hello seamless organization. They can do the same for you as they create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and so much more. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation, but only until October 31st. 18-month financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com today.
You can find 1010XL on any social media platform: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. At 1010XL.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. When deciding what lawyer to trust with your car accident or injury case, the most reliable way is reviews and results. You want to be treated well